Hello YouTube, it's Ved here and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want to share with you my decision to run a half marathon in 12 weeks. And in this video I want to talk about my past experience with running and how I want to tackle this challenge and train myself to be able to run a whole half marathon in 12 weeks. Let's start with my past experience. In the past, I did not run at all. And only recently I started to run short distances, for example 5 kilometers, 3 kilometers every week. And that is because I needed some kind of exercise, and running was the most convenient way to spend as much time as possible outside while burning as much fat as possible. So the running was the right candidate for me to try, and I didn't believe that running adds any value into my training regime just because I wanted to build as much muscle as possible and don't spend the time on cardio that would limit my muscle building potential. But of course, I was forced to work from home, and for the whole week I did not have any exercise at all. I tried to do the squats at home, I tried to do like breakdancing, I tried to various things, but I felt that my body needed a more anaerobic exercise such as running. And since it was spring and it was in April and the weather was getting better, then I said, why not? Let's go out and try it. So 2 years ago I attended some kind of a marathon for the first time. It was a charity marathon for the dogs. I mean, it was a charity marathon and the distance was only about 3.5 kilometers, but it was for the good cause. So since the colleague was an organizer, so I told myself, why not? I will do a good thing and I will try to run for the first time. And my experience with running at that day was quite good. Essentially, what was missing from my past experiences was that there were so many people trying to run just for fun. You know, there were many groups. You start with a big group of like hundreds of people, and you slowly build up your position, and you try to be better than the person in front of you. This was very motivating for me, and even though it was like 3.5 kilometers and I have not run at all in the past, I mean, it was tough. It was tough to finish those 3.5 kilometers in a good time. And I remember the day that it was really hot, like 30 degrees Celsius, and I had some trouble with my asthma because I'm allergic to some trees or some grass, and I had an allergic reaction right after running. So this was the time I thought to myself, okay, running might be a good kind of workout, but it's not good for allergic persons like me. So I put the idea of running into the sleep, and here we are 2 years later or 3 years later in 2020. I think since I'm 34 years old already, now it's time to check out running a half marathon from my bucket list. So what is my action plan? Actually, I have no plan at all. The day after I decided that I will run a marathon, I just googled half marathon training for beginners PDF. Most training plans for beginners are divided into 12 weeks, and you need those 3 months to fully train your body for the long distance and to prepare yourself for the very painful experience. And since today is the 1st of June and the marathon will be in September, I have those 3 months that are required to train my body to be able to complete marathon alive. So there's 2 ways to how to train for a marathon. One type of tutorials will tell you to run for distance. So for example, you start from 5 kilometers in the first week and you ramp up your mileage until the race day. The second way how to train for marathon is to train for the time. So for example, in the beginner session in the first week, they tell you to run for 30 minutes. And in those 30 minutes, it's up to you how would you want to pace yourself, how fast you want to run, and in which way. Of course, if you try to run with a goal in mind, for example, my friend wants to run the half marathons in 1 hour and 45 minutes. So the best way for him to train is to use the second way. That means he should set a fixed goal and try to run as fast as possible and to run as long as possible. I also noticed that the most of the training programs have only one day where you run the long distance, and it's usually on the Sundays or Saturdays. And during the week, you essentially just run short distance, for example, 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers, and you train mostly your endurance, your strength, and you train basically for the time. And I think for myself, first I need to learn how to run the long distances, since I don't have any experience with running 21 kilometers. I think for my weekend runs, for long distance runs, the best course of action for me is to have a goal in mind. For example, this week I will want to run at least 10 kilometers. And for now, I will forget about timing, I will forget about speed, and I will purely focus on building the endurance for the long distance running. And only maybe after, in the second week or the week after, if I feel like I'm having a more endurance and I'm feeling more comfortable running at the steady pace for the longer distance, I can aim for the better time. For example, on Monday, after the rest day of course, I will try to run for 30 minutes, and in those 30 minutes I will try to better myself, I will try to beat my record, I will try to run faster for those 30 minutes. So this is essentially my plan. I hope it will work out, and I'm so excited that I have accepted the challenge, so I have to immediately make the video and tell you about my goals. This video will serve me as some kind of a public announcement that I'm 100% committed to this challenge, and this is a way for me to share my experiences with new challenges, especially with running long distances. And of course, you can learn so many things from my mistakes. So be sure to follow my marathon journey, and see you next time. Also, don't forget to write in the comment section below if you run a marathon for the first time and what was your experience. Also include how did you train for the half marathon and what helped you the most. So wish me luck and see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.